The place in Atlanta, me and Jazz.
Maybe I shouldn't have asked that as I went live.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, is that what you're asking though?
Yeah,
It's called Plated.
plated.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I
Yeah.
heard of that spot before.
Open till like 6 and it served food the whole time, like breakfast and everything. It's called like midnight brunch and stuff like that. Like people that in there eating, chilling, eating freaking chicken and waffles, knock if you buck on.
Fire. Wow, they don't open till Wednesday. Wednesday to Sunday. That's how you know business is good. You can take off Monday and Tuesday and just come back on Wednesday. I feel like I've heard of that spot before. Never been there.
Yeah, it was cool.
All right, fire. Well, we're gonna get this show on the road. Uh hold on one second. Let me get to and 3, 2. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you may find yourself as you listen to this, and welcome to the podcast that knows that it was URL behind the Love is Blind finale not being able to stream. I know you did it, Beasley. I know you did it. You tuned into another episode of It's a Black and White Thing with A1 and A Ward. I am one half of the dynamic duo A1. You can catch all episodes of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice. Wherever you find the good podcast, searching for It's a Black and White Thing, or for Brands and Bars. Please subscribe, rate, give us 5 stars. You can also check us out most Tuesdays in the 6 o'clock-ish or 7:30-ish time frame. Anytime between 6:30 and 7:30, basically, on YouTube by searching Brains and Bars. You can also check us out on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. What's up, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by searching at Brains and Bars. And as always, I don't do this show by myself, but I do it with the homie A Ward. A Ward, what's good with you, my guy?
Man, I'm doing great, bro. Thank you for asking. It is hot outside. I just turned my air conditioner on for the first time this year. So yeah, I was gonna start feeling good inside. Just mowed the grass for the first time this year. A lot of firsts today. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good weather, and I'm excited for the rest of the week.
I gotta ask, what's going on with the fit here? What's up with the fit?
No, I'm just celebrating golf, man. Like it's time. It's time again where now I can golf weekly or bi-weekly. And yesterday, I I parred 18 holes. That's my record now. So like no mulligans, no nothing. Like literal pars. Not like that. If you know, maybe that's a standard for some of you guys, and maybe I'm still terrible, but I hit the ball better yesterday than I've ever hit. So it's like for that. My dad got me this shirt for Christmas. It's loud, it's proud, it's Ricky Fowler-esque, or it's got some, I got the penguin hat with the golf clubs. I'm just all in on golf right now, man. So I think I'm gonna try and go golfing once this weekend, and yeah. So if you got some time off, man, and you want to go, let me know.
Bet it up. I will keep that in mind. Well, you look very PGA-ish.
Thank you. PGA Ward. They don't call me PGA Ward for no reason, man.
Yeah, I think all you need is the glove. You got the glove on too?
Nope. I got my ball mark though.
All right, that's what's up. All right, so we got an interesting show lined up for you today. I'm actually gonna invert the way we do things. We normally start with battle rap and then make our way to sports. I'm actually gonna invert that. We're gonna start in the sports world, and then we'll get to battle rap to close the show. So I want to start NBA playoffs right as we speak right now. You got the Hawks and the Celtics playing right now. Celtics are leading. The Hawks were up 19-9. And then basically after that, I think they were outscored 19-6 the rest of the way from that point. So Celtics are up. That's looking like that's going to be a sweep. But let's go to last night. Let's talk about Warriors versus Kings. Kings are up 2-0 in that series. Draymond, goes full WWE, stomps on the chest of Domantas Sabonis, gets ejected from the game. So before we kind of get into the particulars of that, if you were not a fan of the Warriors, But if you were on the Warriors, a player on that team, panic level, 1 being we're good, 10 being crap, we're going home. What would the rating on your panic meter be if you were a player on the Golden State Warriors?
It's only at like a 3 because of Draymond Green. That's the only reason it's at a 3. Because there's this. I mean, Draymond's always had technical foul issues and different things like that. But for some reason this year, even more, he's just that villain of a player. And I think with his podcast and everything, he's embraced it even more, And it's just like plays like that. Like you have to be so in tune with who you are and what your team needs at that moment to know that. I personally think if it's just 2 other players, it's a flagrant 1. I didn't think it was like extremely malicious, but like at the end of the day, because it's Draymond Green, you knew he was going to be ejected. So I say that because you're not in trouble until you lose a home game in the playoffs. The Warriors have basically lost 2 games by 2 possessions. Like on the road against a team that has played much better than them. And let's be honest, they were 5-31, I think, on the road this year. So like. They weren't very good at all on the road this year. Something very bad.
Let's see. I want to say 11-31.
Okay. So maybe I'm a few games off. But so like to go in and to lose the first 2 games by 2 possessions, it lets you know they're going to be in every game. And when they're at home, more than likely those are going to be wins. So unless you lose a home game, that's when that meter jumps up to about 7 or 8, But I think that I'm at.
Go ahead.
I just think I'm at a 3 just based off the antics and everything of Draymond Green. He's supposed to be a leader. He's supposed to be keeping things together. He's on stage. He's looking in the camera during timeouts, talking into the camera like some WWE promos and stuff like that. And it's just he's clapping in people's faces. And yeah, he's energetic and he has the energy. But it's like, bro, at some point you have to realize you're not really the hunted this year. I mean, you still are, but you're looked at like we can beat you. Like people are not scared of you at home. So you got to get it together and play basketball. So,
what about Warriors were 11-30, by the way. I added an extra game, but yeah, 11-30. So, I have it. This morning when I was thinking of this question, I had them at a 7.
Wow.
I have scaled it back to a 5. My stance is still not changed with the Warriors. Understanding 11-30 is an awful record. I think if they were to somehow win the championship, they would have, I believe, the worst road record ever of a team to win a chip. All right. So be that as it may. But I think that you just got to get 1. Now, the margin for error has been significantly it has shrunk significantly because you can't afford to lose at home. Like you've got to win. For sure, you got to win these next 2, right? You can't go down 3-0. You can't go back to Sacramento 3-1. You got to win the next 2 to tie back up. You really need to win. In a perfect world, if I'm on the Warriors, I'm like we're running 4 straight. Like we're going to win these 2 at home, then we're going to win this 1 on the road, and then close out back at the crib so we don't have to do a game 7. Because my fear is you only got to get 1, but I don't want that 1 to be game 7.
I think they have the personnel to get that W in game 7. Nobody wants to go to 7, but I think they have the personnel and the experience to get that W. But yeah, I see what you mean.
I don't know if they've been in an environment quite in this entire run. Maybe OKC in 2016. The fans in Cleveland and Houston are great, but Sacramento is experiencing the playoffs for the first time since I think 2006. I think. Mm-hmm. I heard this is. I didn't pull the stat on my own, but Bomani Jones had pulled a stat where it was their first time on ABC since 2002.
That's wild. So, yeah.
21 years since they've been on national TV, not cable TV, but over-air network TV. So those fans, like I saw a video clip of a man with the cowbell right behind, it's not Joe Lacob. Who's their GM? Bob Myers. He's got a cowbell literally right behind him, and he's just
that's nuts.
Going crazy. And it's like it has to take everything in you not to turn around and just punch him in his face. Like, it's just like, bro, like, shut up, stop. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know if I want to go to a game 7 against a team that is that good in that environment. And I think, so you are right? Like, it was a close game down the stretch. The Kings end up pulling away. The thing to me that they need to clean up, if they do nothing else, and I don't know if they're
Turnovers.
capable, that right there, 22 turnovers yesterday. In that first quarter, the first 8 or 10 points scored by Sacramento was off turnovers.
Yeah.
Whether getting pickpocketed a couple of times, bad passes, and that doesn't even include the times where they threw the ball away and maybe Sacramento doesn't score. Just quick turnaround, like turnover, fast break point. So they have got to, and I hate this phrase, but they have to value the basketball more. They got to take care of the ball. If they can cut those turnovers down to 13, 14, 15, they have enough offensive pieces where that's the difference in the margin in the game right there. So if they can clean nothing else up, they fix that, I think they're in a good place. So let me ask you this. And you might have answered this, so forgive me if I missed it, but if you're Adam Silver, are you suspending Draymond for one game for stomping on Sabonis' chest?
No, I'm not suspending him. I'm not suspending him for the game. I think that him going out in a close game in the fourth quarter, by 8 minutes to go, them end up losing the game and everything. I personally think that's punishment enough. Hopefully, he went back to the locker room and understood what it is he did. I don't necessarily think the Warriors guaranteed win with Draymond staying in the game. But I think that was punishment enough for what. Now they don't do the whole thing like college football where it's like he's possibly suspended for the first half of the next game. Is he? Can they do? Like if you get ejected in the second half, don't you miss like the first half of the next game? Like they used to do that in college football. No,
they used to, but that's super whack. I would not be happy if they did that.
I think Andrew Wiggins is coming into his own. I think he's played better each game. He missed the game winner in the first game. And so hopefully, them at home, I think that they'll take business in game 3. I think game 4 is going to be the big one. It's like, you got to make sure, I think this first one they'll get pretty easily. Not easily, but I think they'll win it, without it being like a game, a buzzer beat or anything like that. But the second one is the big one.
Yeah. Like I said, I know that all the cliches is the series doesn't start till a team loses on its home floor, and we have we're the defending champs. We have the championship medal, and I'm like, yeah, that sound good, but right now, De'Aaron Fox don't care nothing about that. Like he don't care nothing about your championship medal. He doesn't care about defending champs. He doesn't care about your playoff tested in adversity. Like he's getting buckets.
Yeah.
And he's doing a good job when he is on Steph. He's doing a good job. I feel like that is also one of the underrated parts of yesterday too. Is that Davion Mitchell, De'Aaron Fox, like those guys and company are doing a good job of making life tough for Steph.
Yeah, right? 3 for 13, I think, from 3-point range.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're doing a good job of making life difficult for him. And if they can continue to do that, I
did think there was a handful of calls that I thought a Steph would get yesterday that he did not.
I felt like, I'll ask you this. Do you feel like the Kings have gotten some generous whistles at the crib?
Yeah, I think they got them. Yeah.
I tweeted that in game 1. I felt like they were kind of like, you don't normally see a team that is new to the playoffs get those calls. And to your point, I feel like Steph, and I don't want to get the Steph truthers riled up, but I feel like Steph gets a lot of, especially when he goes in the paint, he gets a lot of contact that doesn't get fouls called on him. I mean, that's just my personal perspective, but
Yep.
All right, so you got them winning game 3?
I got them in game 3 and game 4. So I'm not ready to crown them for the series though.
I can feel that. All right, so let's stay in the Western Conference, but we're going to head eastward. We're going to go to Memphis. LA, I believe they play tomorrow. They got game 1 against Memphis to go up 1-0 behind, I'm pretty sure, I don't need to fact check this, a career high playoff performance from Rui Hachimura. And I'm going to say Austin Reeves. I don't think Austin Reeves has ever scored that many points in a playoff game. I think Rui got to 30. Austin Reeves was 25, 27?
Yeah, there was 3 or 4 guys with over 20 points. So I think Davis, LeBron, and Reeves and Hachimura, or I'm not sure if they all 4 ended up with over 20, but it was.
They did all 4. I don't know if Anthony got to 20. I know
We had
Rui,
7 blocks.
Bron, and Austin Reeves all got to 20 plus points. Rui did score 30. Austin got to 23.
Nice.
So they're up 1-0. Also happening during this match, Ja Morant has I believe they called it like a tissue bruise in his right hand as he landed while taking a charge call. In another playoff game, Miami versus Memphis, Giannis has a back contusion taking a charge call. So I want to bring those 2 games together to ask this question. Should the NBA ban the charge?
Man, I'd like to look at just like the numbers of like how many charges in the NBA are actually taken, like effective, block charge calls, you know. I would say that college basketball, there's a lot more than the NBA. So I'm not opposed to it, but I also don't understand. I don't know how it changes defenses and help side and rotation and different things like that, and just the lane in itself. You'll probably find a lot more people jumping to block, shots, a lot more fouls. I don't think it's going to take fouls down. I mean, I don't know. Is there a statistic that says there's more injuries that happen on block charge calls than other fouls? But at this point, like I'm not for it or against it, I guess you would say. I know I read your tweet that said it's time to get rid of it, but I just don't know how it changes the landscape of how basketball is played if nobody's worried about leaving their feet, running to the basket, and getting an offensive foul.
So I don't have a stat on how many total charges were taken in the NBA. I do see they have a stat of charges drawn per game. So, for example, Kevin Love led the league in charges drawn per game. He averaged 2 a game. Draymond was second with 1.5, and you have a bunch of guys who are tied at 1 drawn charge per game. I'm surprised that I don't see.
That's a little high. I wouldn't have thought it'd been that high.
Yeah, I'm surprised I don't see on this. They have like the top 8 that Marcus Smart and Kyle Lowry are nowhere to be found on this list. I am shocked that they aren't there. And man, I'm gonna tell you, like, I softened my stance just a little, right? When it happened, first of all, let me say this. I enjoy nothing more than watching a team man up, find a man, lock him up, get a stop, rinse, repeat, right? I enjoy nothing more than seeing that. And to me, charges are cowards' way out. They're the cowards. You're beaten. And so the only way I can stop you from scoring or advancing this basketball is to get in your way and get run over. I think it's weak.
I don't think very many charges are taken on a man-to-man, like one-on-one, like you didn't beat me and I tried to take a charge. A charge is taken off off screen and rolls or in transition, you know what I mean? In different areas like that,
Yeah. And I agree. But I mean, at the same time though, like, if I have beaten my man, you didn't come over and like, so I'll use UConn as an example. Not to say that UConn didn't draw charges or attempt to have them drawn, right? UConn plays man to man. They're not going in no zone. Shout out to Jim Boeheim. You had a great career, but I'm glad you're gone. And hopefully your replacement will man up and have those athletes play some man-to-man defense, right? But you would see games where San Diego State, he's beating his man off the dribble. He's getting into the paint, and all of a sudden somebody is over there shutting down that driving lane and making them have to kick the ball, and they're able to rotate. And as the ball is being swung around the perimeter, wherever the ball is going, they're able to recover if they've helped off their man, right? That to me is like, as a basketball fan, that gets me hype. I love great offense, but to see a team, like I said, get in the stance, defend your man for 24 seconds or 30 seconds if it's college and be able to get a stop over and over again. To me, it energizes the offensive end. When you're getting those stops and you're starting to score in the offensive end, it's like a transference of energy back and forth. No, it is not momentum for those who want to get into that. It is a transference of energy back and forth as you get those stops. And to me, sliding under someone who has left their feet is an unsafe play. It's not a
well.
safe play.
That's not a charge in the first place. I mean, if they've left their feet, like it's going to be a block call, right? If they've already left their feet, I'm pretty sure it's
I thought Ja got called for the charge on that play where he got hurt.
Oh, I thought it was the definition of the rule was like if they've already left your feet and you're sliding, it's a block no matter what.
I think that the rule might be. I think it's that in college. I don't think it's that in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I had to double check. I'd have to double check, but I feel like I know in college, once you left your feet, maybe it's not a call. But I don't think it's the same way in the NBA because I know for sure Ja got called for the charge. I don't know about the Giannis play, but like I would rather one, if you're going to eliminate it, go all the way and eliminate it. But if you're not, at least take out. Hey, once a guy's left his feet, don't slide underneath him.
Yeah.
Let him have his space to come down and land, and whatever happens, right? But you got to play better defense. That's my whole thing with the block charge. To bring it back to Lakers and Memphis, is this series over? It's without Ja, he's doubtful for Wednesday.
I think it's game time decision, but I didn't know.
Yeah, he might be back. I think the next time they play, let me see if I get the schedule. I want to say is Saturday. So if he does not return, is this series done? Let's spin it from that angle.
More than likely. I'm not ready to say yes completely because actually Memphis has been a very good team without Ja Morant. It's like in the past, like they have won games like handedly without him, and like had a really, really good record without Ja Morant. So they have the players and the chemistry without him to do that. The unfortunate thing is they're playing against LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So that's why part of me says more than likely it is over. It should be, the minute you hear Ja Morant's not playing, from the Lakers, this is a we have to win this road game. There's no way we give the Grizzlies this game. This is me getting everybody in the locker room saying, look at me. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Tonight starts. It's a wrap. It's a wrap tour. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's a definite that it's over. I thought without them having Steven Adams in the first place that the Lakers would probably win the series. The Lakers take game one. But Bane Brooks and Jaren Jackson, he's playing really freaking well. They have the ability to go in. And, let's be honest, the Lakers, what did they end up winning? But they ended up winning by about 10 or something, right? Didn't they?
Yeah, because they pulled away late. But,
if we're being honest with ourselves, I mean, they needed 30 from Hachimura and 23 from Reeves,
Yeah, but that's the problem. They got 30 from Hachimura and
right,
23 from –
they're not getting that from those guys. They're going to probably get half of that consistently, throughout the playoffs. They're probably going to get 15 and maybe 12, or whatever consistently, If those two guys can stay putting up 20 points, I mean, it might be a wrap for the whole league.
I mean, so I guess the problem there is though, right, is when it's win or go home time and every game matters now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't have a game where, granted, let me give Anthony Davis his props. He went for 22. Let me get this stat line: 22 points, 12 rebounds, 3 steals, 7 blocks. Right. So let me give him his props. When you have when the others, as Shaq and the TNT crew would call them, when you have those role players who are stepping up and leading your team in scoring, and LeBron is getting his, and Anthony Davis is getting his, like you're done. Like I really don't care who you are. I don't care what team you are. So I mean, like you can't let LeBron and Anthony get his, let them impact both sides of the floor, and then let Austin Reeves and Rui cook you.
I just think the Grizzlies are going in and saying, all right, Rui and Reeves are not getting what they got last game. You know what I mean? Buckle down, play our game. They're not. I mean, Rui we hit like 6 for 7 from 3-point range. You know, I mean, I don't think he ever had a. He played 5 games with the Wizards in the playoffs, you know, and he never even hit a 3. You know, I mean, a lot less minutes and stuff. But I mean, so I think that wasn't in the scouting report, you know, that he was going to go like, you know, hit 6 threes or 5 threes, however many it was.
5 or 6. He went 11 for 14 from the floor.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So if Ja Morant does not play, I think the Lakers have to win that game, because the Grizzlies win that game, then there's a lot of confidence on their end that like, yo, like we do this all the time without Ja. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Lakers win that game, then they're like, we're down. You know, we've lost 2 road games. We got 2 in LA. It might be a wrap for us. You know, so I think the Lakers have really got to win this game.
Yeah. I mean, if you are a man who bets for entertainment purposes only, and you had your money on the Lakers to win the whole thing, Sunday had to be a really reassuring feeling for you. And obviously, Laker fans always feel like confident they're going to win. So, you know, they're the cousin of Cowboy fan. But yeah. I mean, Jackson, my uncle says Jackson's going to get in foul trouble eventually. I feel like he's gotten better at not drawing the foolish foul. He's
Dylan Brooks was the one in foul trouble. I think Dylan Brooks got in foul trouble early.
I mean, what else is new? Like,
and he was the foolish foul. He was fouling guys out here, you know, on the inbound pass just for no reason. It's like, all right, bro.
Yeah. So, you know, I got the Lakers winning game 2. To me, this is going to be a gentleman's sweep. I got the Lakers in 5. I respect the Grizzlies, but I just feel like all the turmoil that's around them. I feel like you said, they play really well, but I feel like once Ja got hurt, I feel like they just didn't at that point. And so, you know, maybe with a chance to the shock of what happened, seeing the injury, hearing him scream the way he did, because he was in a lot of pain when he hit the ground. Maybe that took them out of it mentally. We'll see if they can rebound in game 2, but y'all better not let them boys, don't let Austin Reeves be in your building screaming, "I am him," again on your court, or you might not get back to Memphis for a game 5. So let me see what else.
Tyus Jones is a very good point guard. I really like watching Tyus Jones play. He's turned into I think he could be a starter on another team.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, definitely, if you want someone who's going to be low maintenance, doesn't need a ton of shots, can run your offense and be efficient. Maybe not someone who can get his own shot consistently, but I feel like in a scramble situation and the shot clock running down, he can do some things. He can do some nice things for you offensively. By the way, we don't have to talk about this game, but because nobody else did. Like, I'm on Twitter and no one spoke about Denver and Minnesota. I went to bed. I watched like the first 5 minutes and I went to sleep because it was super late. But I cannot find a single tweet about that game. Like, I think their next game is on NBA TV. That's the NBA TV Classic. And it's going to come on at late hours of the night. And if you just happen to have insomnia, you'll probably catch that game. Let's see what else we want to get into. I just want to talk about from this standpoint, Philly versus Brooklyn. Philly's up 2-0. They should sweep Brooklyn. Brooklyn just doesn't have enough firepower. Shout out to Mikal Bridges, who we're going to find out if if he's got the chops to be like a true number 1 guy, or if he's just a number 2 or 3 who is getting number 1 shots.
Yeah.
But last night, Cam Johnson comes through and booms on Joel Embiid. I mean, absolute facial. And I only bring this up to say this. God gave me the ability to be able to hold a note. I cannot sing. I can't like tear the house down as a soloist, because if I could, my pride would be out of control. I believe that God did not give me the ability, the grace to be 6'7" and incredible athleticism, because if I had the ability to boom on somebody the way Cam Johnson did Embiid in an NBA game, all my texts are going to come from booming on people. Because as soon as I boom on you, I'm going full KG. They're going to have to censor. You're going to think, what happened to my sound? It's just going to be. You're not going to hear a single sound because I'm going to lose my mind on you. Like I'm talking about, we talking about Honey Nut Cheerios. I'm gonna talk. You gonna like if I dunk on Jaren Jackson, John Morant, people gonna have that beam pointed at our bus for sure at the end of the game because I'm going nuts. I don't know if you have anything else you want to get into with any
I
other.
saw the dunk. It sucks that it's in a playoff game and it's like a playoff game loss. You can't. I mean, if you lose in the regular season and you posterize somebody, you can still kind of like brag about it, But it's a playoff game. Everything's very serious, And they took the L. But yeah, very, very, very nice dunk. I'll say this much: Philadelphia won the first game pretty handedly. I think second game a little bit closer. I still don't feel like they're playing very well. So they've not shown like in 2 games to me that in the next round they're going to be a scary team to match up with. They're double teaming Embiid every time he gets the ball, and it still looks like it's hard for Harden to score. Harden's somewhat of a shell of himself offensively, so it's like they're able to double team Embiid. Maxey ended up with over 30. Tobias had about 20 or whatever. So the rest of the guys are pitching in and they're winning these games over the Nets, but they haven't shown anything to me that makes me believe they're going to end up in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, that's the tough part. Like excuse me. Like they're going to be one of those teams. They're going to be like the Indiana Pacers of this era, right? Really good team, except with a much, much better lead player. No offense to Reggie. But like they're gonna have a bunch of second round exits. And when you look at the injury that Giannis had, and hopefully, I think that there's optimism that he'll be back. But let's just say that he can't come back, and Miami wins. How upset are you if you're Philly that you're not in that 2 seed? Because then you have a cakewalk to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah,
like, no one's going to be there to provide any true resistance, and so we'll see. Like Harden has played a lot better this year. And quiet and almost under the radar, he's played a lot better. Oh yeah, Atlanta's done. Listen, the top half of the East it's top heavy. We're waiting for the 1-4. Well, we'll see what happens with the Knicks and the
Cavs.
They play Cavs. But yeah, we're waiting for that 1 seed in Milwaukee versus a 4-5, which should be competitive. And we're waiting for Philly and Boston. And Philly's in trouble because I think they lost in 5 last year in the playoffs to Boston. They lost 3 of the 4 matchups this year to Boston. Boston has their number. So we'll see. Hopefully, I would love for Embiid because I think this is his MVP season for him to make a conference finals run. I think that'd be super dope. But we'll see what happens in that regard, man. I'm trying to think, is there anything else NBA-wise I want to talk about? I mean,
KD lost his first game as a Sun.
Listen, he went 3 for 19. I understand that. Offensively, he was trash.
Brody.
But the Brody was he was first team all NBA defense out there yesterday.
He was.
He harassing KD.
Showing
the heart, getting a stop on Booker to close out the game, yelling at random fans in VIP sections on his way to the locker room. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the full Russell Westbrook performance.
Classic Brody. Classic. And shot poorly. Absolutely terrible. Classic Brody.
We're getting the full Westbrook treatment, at least at this stage of his career. He didn't shoot that badly at his apex, but in terms of what he is now, we got the full Westbrook. Let Westbrook be Westbrook. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed. Bring the hashtag back.
Man, it felt good to see him, at least, like I said, defensively contribute in such a way that led to a victory. But also, Kawhi Leonard.
Quietly. Has been playing some of the best basketball over the last month than anybody in the NBA. So
a bad man. And it's crazy. Like if his body had held up from an injury standpoint, like we would be putting him in that conversation with the LeBron, with the KD as the best player of this generation. Like when you look at what he's done in his career, and especially in the playoffs, we'd be having a different conversation if his body had held up on himself.
How many rings has he got?
He has two, only two. He won that one year that they mollywopped this the Heat, and then in 2019 with the
Raptors.
Raptors.
Okay.
But yeah. So yeah, man. Like I'm that's another one. I think Phoenix is going to win that series. I think ultimately they were proved to be the better team, although their depth, which to me was always going to be the issue once they traded away all those pieces to get
Yeah.
KD. Maybe the Clippers got just enough bench depth to even out the star players that are on the Suns. And I want to say this last thing about that before we get out of this NBA coverage. To me, this is the last stand for the super team. I think NBA teams are starting to figure out and understand that it is the best way to build your team is to build, I don't want to say organically through the draft, but through the draft and making smart free agent moves, not doing signing trades where you send out 3 to 4 of your best quality players to bring in this one player, right? I think you look at what OKC is building. I think you look at what the Kings have done. Obviously, the gold standard are the Warriors. But you look at what even a team like Cleveland, what New York is building, what the Bucks have built, right? They have not, these are teams who obviously can't bring in superstar talent because of the cities they're in.
Mm-hmm.
But through the draft, through smart trades and smart free agent signings, they built really impressive contending teams without having one of these super marquee high superstar players. So we'll see what happens on that end. But to me, this is that Phoenix team is the last stand for the super team. If it doesn't work for them, I can't see people pivoting back towards it. So unless the Lakers will always pivot towards a super team, but they're LA. They can afford to do that. All right, let's talk one quick thing in a couple of pieces of news in the NFL. First, we can hit this real quick. Damar Hamlin, Brandon Beane, the GM for the Buffalo Bills, said that Damar Hamlin was cleared to return football activities. Now, I'm going to ask you because I got my answer. If you were Damar Hamlin and you basically died on the field several times, and they say, hey, you can come back and play football, are you playing football?
If I'm me, no. I mean, I don't know how to beat Damar Hamlin. So if you're saying if I'm in the position that Damar Hamlin was in,
yeah. If you're in this position,
I know me. Like I know, I don't think I would. No, I mean, I don't think I could actually play the game the same way without it affecting me mentally and to think like, wow, this is the type of play or running across the middle or launching myself at somebody. This could be the same situation again. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't think I play football again. No, I don't.
Man, listen. If I died on the field, you couldn't pay me Deshaun Watson money to get back out there and play that game again. Like, no offense. Like, listen, let me tell you something. I'm old. I'm an old man. I forget where I was at. I tripped coming up a stair. Oh, I was at my son's school. He just had like some event, and I was coming up the stairs, and I tripped up the last stair. Now I caught myself. I didn't fall, but I tweaked my hip because I'm an old man. I was ready to be out put myself on the DL for about a week. I'm like, dang, like I had to go home. I started Googling like hip strengthening exercises because I'm like, this shouldn't have happened. Tripping should not have caused my hip to give me that kind of pain. So imagine playing this game, even though I'm a young man, and I hit someone and I die. Nope. You can't. There's no amount of money you could give me to play this game again. None. Finish. Done. Complete.
I also think that there's plenty of opportunities for him now outside of football. Whether it be motivational speaking, whether it be maybe some commentary, analysts, Inky Johnson, obviously he physically couldn't play the game again,
Right.
But he's doing a lot of great things, you know what I mean? Still within the realm of athletes and stuff, And so I think that's just what it's got to be, This isn't like an ACL tear, and now you've recovered, and you're like, oh, I'm hesitant to jump again because what if I land on my ACL again? This is not that. This is like, you died, and like had to be brought back to life, and like So yeah, but I mean, people are competitive. Like some guys, like football is all they know. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And like some guys, I tell you, like if I can't play football, I don't want to live. I don't know if that's a literal, but you know what I mean? Like, I mean, so that those are the conversations he's having with himself, his agent, his family, his friends, and everything like that. Is like, yo, what does life without football look like, and is it worth it? You know. Um, then also, like, you have to ask yourself, like, the team. What's the team's response in wanting to put him back out on the field? You already see teams that are hesitant with concussions and like under a lot of scrutiny and just for putting guys back on the field just for a concussion. We're talking about putting a guy back on the field that died. So the NFL, the team, I think that everybody should meet and kind of come to some kind of logical agreement. For me, nope, no sir.
Yeah, I agree, man. Y'all let us know what y'all think. Like if you were in DeMar Hamlin's place, if you were him, would you come back and play football? Because the answer is unequivocally no on our end. So let us know what y'all think about that. Hit us up at Brains and Bars on Facebook, Twitter, IG. Last bit of NFL news. This broke yesterday.
Blaine Gabbert, the huge signing of Blaine Gabbert. Patrick Mahomes' new backup quarterback. I knew we were going to get to this. No, go ahead.
Hey, shout out to Baldwin, Missouri's own Blaine Gabbert, Mizzou alum, signing with the Kansas City Chiefs. And I want to say something here. I feel like I've been validated over time. I've had a lot of what some might consider to be hot takes on this show. What I would just consider to be the truth. But I once said on this show that the backup quarterback is the second most important position on your football team.
It's actually not a bad take.
And I was ridiculed for that take for years for saying such a thing. But when you look at what has taken place, I think last year set a record for most starts by differing QBs across the league. You look at what happened with the 49ers going through 3 quarterbacks. You look at Chad Henne, anything is possible, coming off the bench. I think he led
98-yard touchdown drive.
Nah, stay here, Low. Stay here. You need to hear this too. He says, I'm out. I'm not trying to just back up QB talk. Come on, stick around for a little bit. But I think he led him a field goal drive and I think a touchdown drive, right? I thought he led him at least 10. For sure.
And then what? The year before was the Cleveland Browns fourth down conversion.
2 years. 2 years.
So
that's So I mean, like, So I'm just saying, I feel a little vindicated. The homie Reese was like, you know what? I agree with this point now, and I'm like, I'm ahead of my time. Sometimes
I think it's higher than what I thought, but I'm not ready to say the second most. But I mean, it's a little higher than what I originally had. But go ahead.
All right. Let one of these star quarterbacks get hurt, and let it be some on a championship contender, and let some bum take his spot, and they can't get W's because he stinks. All right. Anyway, Jalen Hurts got paid. He is now, I believe they said he is not the richest. I forget what the language was. It's one of the greatest. One of the richest contracts in NFL history. No, Jalen Hurts signed a 5-year, $255 million extension with the Eagles. He is now the highest paid player in NFL history. So, man, I just want to have that feeling of signing my name on a multi-million-dollar deal. That's where the money's going to hit my account. Like, let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you this. Let's have a little bit of fun. You sign a deal that makes you the richest battle rapper in history. What's the first thing you're doing when you're done? Ink's dry. You shook hands with the league owners. What's the first thing you're doing?
I'm buying the URL.
I was not expecting. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
All right.
Then I'm releasing Saga vs. Beat-Out on YouTube right afterwards. No, I signed a contract like that, man. I mean, I don't know. Like in your mind, you're like, I buy a house, I buy a car. Well, I've got a house, I've got a car. Like, I probably go on some kind of crazy vacation. That's what I probably do. I probably go on some crazy vacation. Somewhere that never would have gone because of maybe it cost too much. Spend 2 weeks, something like that, and do it like that. But yeah, I mean. But just to know that, like, the financial security of, like, when I go to swipe my card, I don't have to worry about Monday or Tuesday from the weekend and, like, scrolling, like, all right, what came out, now that we're back on business days. Like, just having that, But I also would probably reach out to somebody, like, that has signed something like that before and learn how to navigate through it, because, man, money changes people, your friends, your family, and everything like that. Now all of a sudden the expectation is like, that you all you got it to give. You know what I mean? And so I definitely want to be able to navigate through the mental and emotional side of being able to keep my money, too. But yeah, as far as I'm just spoiling myself, I'm probably going on some crazy vacation.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, as soon as the ink is dry, I'm cutting on Rick Ross's Tattoo Tears of Joy. And I'm just gonna let that music play, and I'm probably gonna cry. Like you gonna see like I'm gonna shed some tears. Cause I'm like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, bro, like I am letting that feeling wash over me of having generational bread. I think like you, I agree. I'm going to take probably me and my immediate family first. We're going somewhere where just the three of us can celebrate and have fun. And then after that, I'm going to come back to the city and kick it with my friends and family. And then I'm going to take my friends and we're going to have a responsible getaway. Nothing crazy. I'm an old man. We're going to have a responsible getaway. So, I'm not a cigar guy, but we can go to a cigar bar and you guys can fire up some stogies and we can just kick back and bask in the glow of me being a multi-millionaire and my life being changed forever. And by extension, depending on how some of y'all kick it, maybe some of y'all lives can be changed forever too. But yeah, man, like that, I just couldn't to me, the thing about Jalen's story is so dope is just seeing where he's come from, right? Going to Bama, not getting.
How much was his rookie contract?
Let's see if we can find out real quick. I got it pulled up. His rookie contract. Let me see transactions. Where the transactions at? Well, waiting for the internet to respond. Somebody already
was a second round pick. What was he?
He was a second round pick. Trying to see, where is it? So he signed it. It was a 4-year deal that was going to pay him $6 million.
Wow.
I'm sorry, $8 million. $8 million total.
Okay.
So 4-year deal that was going to pay him $8 million total in earnings. And now he's guaranteed, I believe,
$175 million on 5 years, I think.
He's guaranteed $179 million and an annual salary of $51. Right after I get done playing Tattoo Tears of Joy, I'm cutting on la 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 la. Wait till I get my money. That's the second song that's playing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, 51 mil a year. So I'll say this: seeing him get that kind of bread made me think. His agent is Nicole Lynn. She works for, I believe, I think she might be Clutch or CAA.
Yes, Clutch. Yep. I saw that. Yep. She DM'd him on IG asking to be his agent or something like that. I read a story, and then she just shot her shot, and then ended up, being with clutch and then followed through. And
Man, God is good.
I mean, so basically, you're looking at he had a 25. His salary is multiplied by 25 times per year. So it pretty much went from $2 million a year to $50 million a year. You know, so like if you make $100,000 a year, and then the next year you make $2.5 million a year, right? That would be this. Is that right? 25.
Listen, you're the math guy. I'm gonna let you work that out. I'm just shaking my head at the multiplicity of the numbers that you're talking about.
Yeah. So $100,000 a year, you know, to 2.5 million. I mean, you can imagine how your life would change. I mean, just you know.
So here's my second thought after I saw he sign that deal. I respect Lamar Jackson and everything he's trying to accomplish, but I think you should call that young lady immediately.
Yeah.
Say, hey, what you got for him? Can you give me that?
Lord, what you have done for others.
Can you do that for me? I seen what you've done for others. Because I don't know if you saw this, but Ian Rappaport was on with McAfee, and he talked about that the Ravens offered him a deal that I guess would have been. So here's the thing that makes me think it's a little bit of cap. It was virtually $200 million guaranteed. So it was the 133 that Lamar said was cap, right? And then he was like, well, through some other clauses and escalators, it was virtually $200 million guaranteed. And when you are fighting this PR war with the Ravens to get your bread, when people hear that number, not that public sentiment matters in this case, because he seems like he's someone who's intent on standing on the square and not pivoting and standing firm, 10 toes down. But at the same time, the pressure has been taken off the Ravens at that point. When you have an NFL league reporter saying, essentially, that's what he was offered, right? And so just coming out over that and putting cap ain't going to get people to change. At that point, you need to have an agent who can come out and fight fire with fire on your
yeah.
You know, hopefully he gets his bread. To me, you can't. So I want to make this last point. We can get to this bullpen and bootlegging thing.
To me, bullpen over bootlegs. Let's go.
Oh, that is the title.
That is a title.
That is the title.
That's
Even though we spent an hour talking football and NBA, that's the title. But you cannot talk about NBA basketball players not playing games and not putting the best product on the court. And then if you are a fan of Washington, Indy, Atlanta, Carolina, Chicago, I'm going to throw Chicago in there too. Minnesota, I'm going to throw them in there too. San Francisco, I'm going to throw them in there too. And then look at a MVP caliber quarterback and go, oh, we're good. Like, as a fan, like, I am beating down their door saying, yo, y'all got to sign this dude. 2 first-round draft picks is all you got to give up. Maybe $200 million guaranteed. You might be able to get him for $200 million guaranteed. Go get him. So we'll see how that saga plays out. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add to that before we jump into this bullpen situation.
No, I'm there with you.
All right, so let's jump into first of all, before we get to the controversy, let's talk about the actual event. You were in the building. I don't know how many of the battles you got to see, but just from your perspective, how do you think the bullpen event went this weekend?
Well, I definitely thought it was great. You know, obviously, you know, we were there when I battled Rum Nitty, so same venue, battle shot, same area, pit style, right there. Shot by Avocado, Ruin Your Day. They had, I think, what it was, I want to say 9 battles, something like that.
1, 2, 3. I got the flyer up. 4, 5, 6, 7. Correct.
9
battles. 9 battles.
And now is that with the cancellations?
That is with the cancellations. I'm looking at it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, that is with the cancellation. Okay,
yeah. You know, I think the battle started about 3:30, and a decent time in the afternoon. You know, maybe a little later than what they wanted, but that's normal battle rap stuff. Battles 1, 2, little break, 1, 2, little break. I mean, they pretty much kept them going back to back. The flow of the night was good. One thing I just don't like from a fan standpoint, I guess I shouldn't say fan, but is the no mics thing. The no mics thing is tough because unless you're just in the crowd, you know what I mean? Like for every match, like it's really difficult to hear. at times I'm kind of in the back, or I might be sitting around the bar, or I might be walking around and stuff. And with mics, I can still be an active listener. So there was a lot of battles that, like, for 3 full rounds, I wasn't able to just be an active listener and be there. You know what I mean? But I didn't hear chokes. I didn't hear, any battles that were just like, this, throw it in rice, as Butterfly would say. Well, there wasn't any of those either. Everybody showed up, showed out. Venue was great. They did their thing. Just the same as there's a Rum Nitty battle. And yeah, it was a really enjoyable event. Like, Bullpen has one of those ones. Like, I think it's probably one of the best events of the year, up there with Divide and Conquer one, which was a really good event. And the Chrome 23, which was a really good event. Yeah, definitely think it's one of the best events of the year. Probably, maybe the best bullpen event of all time.
Okay.
From front to back. You know what I mean? Like, so, you got Av and Clone, which is, we don't use that word classic, but kind of like an instant classic. Really great high level battle. You have, Loso and Jazz, which is a 1-rounder, but just for the sake of the 5 days notice, like, a lot of talk about it. Great back and forth. Then you got Geechee Gotti and Bad News, one of the better Geechee Gottis we've seen probably in a while. And Bad News, who's, one of the top guys at Bullpen, who, comes and does what he does. So yeah, man, just Shuni did great. OG Grizzly versus Moon was entertained. I was entertained. Excel, Battle D Flames, it was good. Like, all of the battles. 7J, a breakout performance. If you're not familiar with him, he had a really good performance. So yeah, man, it was just a really, really good event.
Yeah, so I bought the pay-per-view. That I say that's no shot. That's just me. But I got the pay-per-view. And I didn't get a chance to see all the battles because I was in the middle of things. I got a chance to watch. Shout out to Josh, said Bad News is ascending. I got a chance to watch Av and Clone this morning as I got ready for work, and to me that is going to be on top 10 list. That is a battle. If it's not on the top 10 list, it's going to be in the honorable mentions. That's a really good back and forth. Av with the
Isley Brothers
in the bar, Footsteps in the Dark, Isley Brothers bar. Crazy. Clone with the I'll Be Back Av is hospital visits. I mean, that was crazy. I'll say this, Av. I know you had that She-Hulk bar. Fire, by the way. Fire. Talking about the quality of the type of women that Clone associates himself with. I just want to tell you, Av, that there are people out there that have no problem taking down She-Hulk. I'm not going to mention names. I'm simply going to look at the camera and say, you know who you are. You know who you are, who said it. And I'm going to leave it at that.
For the record, it is not me, y'all. It's not talking about one of us.
So I got a chance to check out, kind of in passing as I had it, as I was watching Love is Blind. That's what I was doing. I was watching Love is Blind, binge watching to prepare myself for the finale. I was in and out, checking out the battles. Cash Flow versus Shuni, from what I heard, was dope.
Yo, I just realized we could do like a Love is Blind battle rap version. With like Snake Eyes and Blind Fury.
Oh,
anyways, all right, continue your thoughts. I might have to pitch this to Hitman Holla for the next Bags and Bodies season or whatever. We might have Coastal Rain TV, Love is Blind.
You wrong for that, by the way. You wrong for that. I just want to say that. Although now you got me thinking, like, the culture is too toxic. But who could you cast outside of the names you just said for a Love is Blind? Like, now you got the wheels turning. All right, anyway. But nah, man, Cash Flow versus Shuni, from what I saw, was pretty dope. And Cash Flow was dope. I mean, when you had kind of the Stone Cold moment, when Loso battled 40, Cash Flow battled Cheddar, and she was really dope in that battle as well. So hopefully that's a name that people are excited to see and see more of. I'm trying to think, what else did I get a chance to check out? I mean, that was really it. I got a chance to peep out a little bit of Excel and D Flames, but I wasn't really locked
So
in.
you haven't seen Geechee Bad News or Loso Jazz yet?
So I watched Loso Jazz the same day. I was moving around, so I caught the on the playback. And
Okay.
let me shout out to those two. To be able to do that on 5 days' notice, have a really good, fun back and forth. You know, one rounder, a quality one rounder with that short of time. They're to be commended. Congratulations,
Yes.
you two. Jazz, obviously one of the goat. No, I'm not going to put the word female in there. One of the goats in battle rap, period. And she's had an impressive run here as of late. And so obviously Loso, we know the quality of work that Loso can do and does. And you know, I feel like so was the 40 situation he was supposed to battle Hustle then, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, I don't know if him and Hustle is meant to be a bullpen battle at this point. Like, this might need to be Kings versus Queens 5. Like, that might KVQ 5. That just might have to be where it takes place, because it doesn't seem like it's meant to be on bullpen. Like,
right.
Just keep blocking it and keeping it from happening. So maybe that's where that battle needs to take place. So shout out to both of them, man. Shout out to both of them. I'm super excited. And from the talk that I've seen, I read the Let's Talk Battle Rap review, and they gave it a really high score too. They gave it 8 out of 10. So if you haven't had a chance to go check it out, go to rapgrid.com. The VOD is available for you to check out. I believe it's still $45. And that is a smooth segue to our final topic of the night. So John, after the event's over, he puts out a tweet about someone within a Discord group with the Black Compass media team talking about wanting to pay to watch the battle. So this whole controversy of bootlegging in battle rap, bootlegging pay-per-view events featuring Cola from Black Compass, who was the one in the screenshot. And so I wanted to start by getting your thoughts on this particular situation and bootlegging in general within battle rap.
Yeah. You know, it pops up every year, maybe once every other year, you know. Back when we were doing like the Watch Battle Lives and different things like that, it was obviously a lot bigger because URL was throwing, you know, pay-per-view events, King of the Dot was throwing pay-per-view events, and just I think everybody knows that like there are these channels and these different, you know, Discords and different things where battles are bootlegged. Your Reddit links, and I mean, there's different things all the time, you know, like, I mean, we as battlers know that we get off the stage and sometimes like leagues are not providing us with a free pay-per-view, you know, because it's maybe not that they wouldn't pay, you know, give it to, but it's just maybe difficult for them to find a way to use the, you know, Rap Grid or whatever to send us, you know, whatever. So, you know, and then you get sent all these links from people like, hey, I got your battles, you know what I mean? Like bootleg, it happens all the time. I think the biggest thing with this particular instance is that, you know, BCN, Black Compass Media, Bootleg Compass Media, Ball-Headed Compass Media, Bootleg Compromise Media, Buy Cola, More, Pay-Per-View Sales Media. I don't know what the BCM stands for at this point in time, but BCM is technically considered one of the top platforms for battle rap media, you know, and they actively are reaching out to battlers, to league owners, to different people to do interviews on their show, provide them, you know, content that they get paid off of. You know, they're actively doing different things like that. And so you would expect from somebody, you know, who does things like that, you would expect them to understand the business side of it and say, like, why are you taking money out of my pocket? You know, I've never been one for screen recording your content and posting it on my channel. You know, I'm sure that Black Compass Media, if there was a platform that was bigger than them, would not feel great if 15 Minutes Fame or Hip Hop Is Real screen recorded their interviews and posted it on their channel. You know, I'm sure they wouldn't feel, you know. So, you know, these are guys, they're battlers, they're people that are going on your show, that are giving you their time, that I'm sure 95% of them are not getting paid for at it, you know, and you're making money off of them. And with John being a battler and a league owner, you know, he's looking back like, yo, are you serious? You know, like is this real? You know, like he's not shocked that people are bootlegging his event. He's shocked that people that are supposed to be held accountable, and people that have a high following, and people that should understand the business, and people that benefit off of other people giving their time, their attention, everything to these interviews. He's shocked that he's looking around and he's seeing 100 people in this chat, that now granted, maybe not all 100 are going to spend $45, but all we can do is say those are the two numbers we have. So there's $4,500, like that all of a sudden I don't have, and that you could have off of what I've literally booking flights, booking venues, booking battlers, that kind of stuff. And so he should be upset. He should be like, like the audacity, like of all people you should know, you're already an established platform, and since you want the people to look at you guys and know you guys, and you want to be one of the biggest media platforms and everything, with privilege comes responsibility. I think that might be the quote. Like, with that privilege comes the responsibility that you can't just act like Joe Schmo on Discord who's like, hey, anybody want to join a little group chat and watch the event this weekend? It's not the same, And yeah, I think that John was fully, I agree with him fully in him being upset, and I seen the statement that Tony Bro put out in regard. I assume it was Tony Bro. It's from the Black Compass Media Twitter, basically stating that they don't, or they're sorry for what happened, But I mean, I obviously have my back and forth with them, and like I'm one of those guys that says consider the source. If Jay Black did that, you'd find me completely shocked. If Uncle Rod did something like that, I'd be like, wow, didn't expect that. But I consider the source. That's all I can say, and that's a personal thing on my end. But yeah, like I think it was very, very disrespectful to John, disrespectful to battle rap, just disrespectful to to even the guys. I know for a fact there are battlers on that card who are being paid out percentages from pay-per-views. And so now you're looking at that kind of situation. When I battled Geechee Gotti, I was being paid out a percentage of my pay-per-view sales. So the next day when I go online, if I've got guys that are streaming my full battle, on their caffeine channel, or if I got guys, that are doing all of this kind of stuff, I'm looking at it like, bro, like I'm still getting paid off this VOD, I'm looking at it like that, So like, just have a little bit more respect, it's not worth it, like I don't know how much they sent John. I think I do know how much they sent John, but I don't know if it's public, so I don't want to say that number. But it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Or maybe it is worth it, because now that's the entire talk is back on your channel, and you've got, even in the negative light, you've brought the attention to you, and that's just how some people operate.
Okay. Yeah. So let me say, I hear what you're saying. I think John, I watched a little bit of he did a caffeine show where he kind of recapped the event, talked about this situation in particular, and I think he's coming from the same perspective as you. Is like, you talk about battle rap, you make money off the culture. He referenced being on the show, and there were super chats coming in, and he makes his point of, hey, like, do I get some of that? Right? Like, he even makes a little joke about it. And so for him, it's the disappointment of, he's like, I don't care that you necessarily cared that you had people watching it. It's that you were charging people. You were charging people to watch it. Shout out to Mama who ordered the bill.
Let's go, Mom.
But he
didn't get away with it.
And so that is his standpoint. So if you could indulge me for a second, I don't even know if these are going to fit, but I'm going to put them on anyway.
Okay.
I hear everything that y'all saying.
Is this the devil's advocate glasses?
This is bootleg A1.
Oh, okay.
I'm a bootlegger. I don't care how you feel about this. Listen. So, like, bootlegging is a part of entertainment. This happens in every entertainment arena you care to mention. The bootleg man hit the barbershop. all the time with the DVDs with the people standing up in it. At least he used to back in the days when we actually watched DVDs. We got whole fire sticks that's juiced, that's supercharged, and get you anything you want to watch for a certain price. Right? You know what I'm saying? We got whole setups out here. You got all the, listen, there is a prominent sports radio personality in our city that sends out a bat signal for every major pay-per-view boxing and MMA fight. And everybody knows what time it is when they see the link. This is the game. This is what we got to deal with. I get it. Maybe he shouldn't have been charging. But listen, this is Black enterprise on both ends. You got John and Bullpen making their bread. You got Black Compass and Cola making their bread. One hand washes the other. And if someone feels so inclined, if they like what they saw, maybe they want to go and get the pay-per-view for themselves because they enjoyed an event that Let's Talk Battle Rap had rated as an 8 out of 10. So I hear the grievances. I understand. But I think he who is without sin, let them cast the first stone. And I think there's going to be a lot of people out here who's not going to be able, who's going to have some rocks that they're going to be dropping and walking away because they know they done bootleg something. They done, listen, they went Denzel Washington. I'm from around the way. I'm leaving here with something. So that's all I'm saying. Like all of your points are valid. But no, sir. Like I respect them, but I'm not moved by them. And so that's my take on the situation. Shout out to John. I'll throw myself under the bus, even though I'm not really throwing myself under the bus. Back during the Watch Battle Live days, my login information was passed around like crazy out in these streets. There was even one battle rapper who posted a clip. I don't know if it's of his battle or somebody else's, and my IP address is floating around these internet streets because that's how Watch Battle Live kicked it back in those days. So again, I understand this is how the game goes. Yes, everyone, please let me say this as I end my bootleg rant. People, go out and support King of the Dot, RBE, Bullpen, iBattle. Go out and support when Queen of the Ring. I don't know if they're done or not, but Chrome 23. All of these leagues that come out and put out a pay-per-view event, go out and support because you don't know what you're going to get. It might be trash. Listen, I bought a battle rap event leagues thing and I couldn't even watch the event. I didn't ask for my bread back because I'm not guaranteed. Now, I hope that I'm able to see the event, but you're not guaranteed that the product's going to work correct. Shout out to Netflix. I didn't demand my whatever they charged me a month back because I couldn't watch Love is Blind at the end. It happens. Mistakes happen. Things happen. But go out, support these leagues. You know, try not to be a part of bootleg gang. King Bao, you were on the bootleg gang list. I'm gonna tell you, my guy, you on the bootleg. Yeah, hey, Black Compass, if y'all got the bootleg going for King Bao next event, I'm in the building. But anyway, support these leagues, man. Support what they do and pay them their bread because they do work hard. These guys put in a lot of work for this material. Support these guys. Man, I might have to wear glasses more often. I see why these guys do this on these lives now. I'm gonna have to pull this back out again. But yeah, that's my take on the situation. Like I said, I respect everybody's opinion and viewpoint. But yeah, support these.
I'll say this much, and I think I probably said it in my first take, is like we know that it's not the bootlegging. We know that it's the making the money off of it. You know, I think that you could firmly say that, anytime you've ever shared your password or whatever, that you weren't bringing in more money than what you paid for the pay-per-view, right. And then I think the biggest thing is this comes from somebody within the circle. You used to rap, if we chopped it up and you're like, yo, Ward, review my CD, I'm like, oh, dope. And then all of a sudden I was bootlegging your CD and selling it somewhere. You'd be like, oh, bootlegging is a thing. Like, dog, I thought we were cooler than that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think the biggest thing is it comes from somebody within the culture who benefits off of, people giving them their time and their content and different things like that. And nobody's gonna be mad at this random YouTube guy that's over here, because there's other guys. Believe me, there's other guys. There's other. This is not the only Discord. This is not the only one. So like, it's happening elsewhere. It happens by everybody. There's so many freaking spaces and different things, and battlers putting their phone in their pocket and turning it on and listen. Like, there's all kinds of like forms of bootlegging, so that you can hear battles and stuff like that. But when it comes from somebody that you're just like, wow, really? Like, you of all people should know this business. You of all people should understand, that you're taking food off my table, to put on your table, and then you're gonna turn around and ask me to come on your show for free and big up the next event. Yeah, we not cool like that. Yeah, I see your glasses, but we not cool like that. So you might think one hand washes the other, but I'm thinking about doing something completely different with these hands. Like, that's probably where where that lies.
Let me just go ahead and do this now. Hey, yo, let me go ahead and get that out the way. Let me get that out the way. Go get my Ace Amin on for just a second. Anyway, man, that's our show, man. Like, I really don't have much. I've said my piece. You've spoken your piece. Let us know what you think about the bullpen event. First of all, let's focus on the good. And then if you have something to say about the bootlegging thing, hit us up at Brains and Bars on Twitter, IG, and what's the third one? Facebook. Yeah, that's right. Facebook. My bad, y'all. So we appreciate y'all tuning in, listening to us, man. As always, you can find every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice. Wherever you find a good podcast, give us 5 stars, share, and subscribe. Same thing for the YouTube. Hit the notification bell so that you can be notified of all new live videos. And anytime we post new content, you can check us out on YouTube by searching at Brains and Bars. Until next time, it's been a Black
and White
Thing. We'll see y'all next week. I want to
play some golf, y'all. Play some golf. Get out there, do it.
Yeah, get out there and get your swing on, get your Tiger Woods on. That could be a bar that could be meant in several different ways. Anyway,
there you
go. Next week we want to try to have a call-in show. If your team has a first-round draft pick, who do you want your team to select with your draft pick? So I try to have the link out there around Monday of next week so people can send out several reminders. We're also looking to have Reese Nichols from Arrowhead Pride on. We're going to talk about the Chiefs, who they're going to get. And we're going to, I don't know if you're going to be busy. I know you might have some things going on, but we're all going to try to have a top 10 mock draft. We might, and if you're here, we'll go top 12. So we each get a pick. We can each get 4 picks. Go through, somebody take the first pick, second pick, third pick. We'll go through the first 12, see who we come up with, and have a little bit of fun. So is I Am Award what? Shop.com for all things Award related, man. We'll holler at y'all next week. Take it easy.